In this topic, we will present information about the conditions for family reunification, opportunities, required documents, and mandatory actions. If you have been granted asylum, how can you reunite with your family in Lithuania? First, let's define who family members are. Family members are considered to be your spouse and underage children. If you applied for asylum as an unaccompanied minor but became an adult at the time of submitting a residence permit application, you have the right to family reunification. For more information, please consult with legal professionals. Once you have been granted asylum, fill out an application in the microsystem to request a temporary residence permit for your spouse and/or children. After submitting the application, you will receive an application number that you will need to provide later in the process. Your family members who are submitting documents need to register for a visit with officially approved intermediaries. This officially approved list is publicly available on the Migration Department's website. Family members who have completed the application for a temporary residence permit on family reunification grounds must, within a specified time frame, submit the original documents. To fill out a Migros application for a temporary residence permit in Lithuania, you will need the Migros application number. A valid passport or travel document. A document confirming family ties, such as a marriage certificate, a child's birth certificate, adoption or guardianship documents, registered partnership documents, and others. Note: the marriage must be a civil one and not conducted remotely. A document confirming that there are sufficient funds for living expenses and/or regular income, a bank statement, employment contract. In cases where you are financially supported by your spouse, you need to provide your spouse's bank statement or employment contract. Important note: the minimum subsistence level is equivalent to 1 minimum wage per month. You do not need to submit this document if you apply within 3 months of being granted asylum. A commitment that you will declare your place of residence and that the living area of your residence will not be less than 7 square meters. Important note: you do not need to submit this document if you apply within 3 months of being granted asylum. A document from the country where your spouse lived for the last 2 years, confirming that your spouse has not been convicted. Important note: the certificate must have been issued no earlier than 6 months ago. If there are no objective possibilities to obtain such a certificate, explanations must be provided. Health insurance. Important note: you do not need to submit this document if you apply within 3 months of being granted asylum. How long does it take for a decision on family reunification to be made? In the regular procedure, it can take up to 3 months to process. In the expedited procedure, it can take up to 45 calendar days. The documents will be sent to the Migration Department, which will make a decision to issue or not to issue a residence permit to your family member. Once the residence permit is issued, it will be sent to your family member abroad. With this permit, they will be able to come to Lithuania. What should you do if you are an asylum seeker and waiting for a decision? If your spouse and/or underage children are living in an EU country and are still awaiting a decision on their asylum application, or if they have been granted asylum in another EU country, you can request to reunite with your family members. Submit a request for family reunification to the Migration Department and indicate where your family members are located, providing documents confirming the relationship. If you have relatives in another EU country, you cannot be transferred to another EU state. However, if you are dependent on these relatives or if there is a complex and exceptional situation, you can request an exception for family reunification. If you have any questions, please contact your assigned social worker or any member of staff. This video was funded by the Asylum, Migration and Integration Fund.